When you think of Krakow, Poland, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably its incredible main square, right? Or maybe that huge castle up on the hill. But some cities, well, they have a soul, a story that goes way deeper than the landmarks. So today, we're going to dig into the stories, the symbols, and the local secrets that really make this city tick.
But let me ask you a question first. What makes any city, anywhere in the world, actually feel like home? Is it the history, the food, the people? Just keep that question in the back of your mind, because it turns out Krakow has been thinking about its own answer for a while now.
And its answer? Well, it starts with an official citywide welcome.
You see, that welcoming vibe you might feel in Krakow, that's not just a coincidence. Since 2016, the city's had this formal policy called the Open Krakow program. It's a deliberate plan to help foreigners settle in and feel like they belong. It's like the entire city just rolled out a giant welcome mat. And get this, the very guide we're using as a source for this whole thing, it was created because of that program. The city is literally putting its resources into building bridges and making people feel at home. That's not just talk, that's action.
But to really get where that open spirit comes from, you have to peel back the layers and take a walk through Krakow's seriously deep history.
The city's basic layout was set way back in 1257. It was based on something called Magdeburg Law, which basically gave it a ton of autonomy and made it a major hub for trade. Then, about a century later, one of the world's great universities was founded right here. So even when the king packed up and moved the court to Warsaw, Krakow's rep as the cultural and intellectual heart of Poland was already locked in. And here's the really crucial part. Krakow was never just for one group. For hundreds of years, it was a total magnet, pulling in people from all over. Czechs, Italians, Germans, Armenians, you name it. That multicultural DNA is the absolute bedrock of the city you see today. And the coolest thing is, this history isn't just in a museum. It's right there on the street. You can literally walk by townhouses built by Italian banking families, have dinner at a restaurant started by a German merchant in the 1300s, or spot an ancient Armenian plaque on a church. The past is everywhere you look. So, with a history that rich, you just know the city has some powerful symbols. These are the big, epic stories Krakow tells about itself. If you're in the main square, just wait for the top of the hour. You'll hear it, this beautiful, haunting bugle call from the top of St. Mary's Church. But then, it just stops. Abruptly. It's a tribute, played every single hour of every day, to honor a watchman who was shot by an arrow mid-song while he was warning the city of an attack. It's history you can hear.
Then there's the building that just dominates the skyline, Wawel Castle. Look, this isn't just some castle. It is the historic, spiritual, and political heart of Poland. For centuries, this is where kings were crowned, where they ruled from, and where they're buried. It's basically the soul of the country, sitting on top of a hill.
And up there in the cathedral, you'll find the legendary Sigismund bell. Now, this bell doesn't ring every Sunday. Nope. It is only, and I mean only, rung for moments of massive national importance. We're talking major holidays, state funerals, huge celebrations. Think about this. It was hung in the year 1521. For more than 500 years, the sound of this single bell has marked the highs and lows of an entire nation. And you can see all of this amazing history. The city walls, the royal crown, the Polish eagle. It's all captured right there in the city's official flag and coat of arms. They're this constant, quiet reminder that you're walking through a place with some serious royal history. Okay, so we've covered the grand symbols. But a city's real character, its personality, that's found in the little things, right? The tastes, the smells, the weird stories that only locals know. And we've got to start with something you will see on basically every street corner, the obrazhenek. Now, you might look at it and think, oh, it's a bagel or it's a pretzel, and you're kind of right, but also wrong. The secret is that they boil the dough first, and then they bake it. That 1-2 punch gives it this amazing, chewy but crispy thing that's been a Krakow staple for centuries. All right, want to know a real insider secret? Let's talk late-night eats. You've got two legendary options. First, you can get these amazing grilled sausages from a classic communist-era blue van. It's an institution. Or you can head over to the old Jewish quarter, Kazimierz, for a zapiekanka, which is this huge toasted baguette with cheese, mushrooms, and pretty much anything else you want on it. You can't go wrong with either.
Okay, we need to talk about the pigeons. Yes, the pigeons. They are everywhere in the main square. But in Krakow, a pigeon isn't just a pigeon. The local legend is that they're actually the enchanted knights of a 13th century prince turned into birds forever. So maybe give them a little respect. You could be looking at a medieval warrior.
And of course, you can't tell Krakow's story without its most famous and most fearsome resident, the Wawel dragon. Legend says this terrifying beast lived in a cave right under the castle. And today, there's a statue that marks the spot. And yes, if you wait a minute, it literally breathes real fire.
So, when you put it all together, from official welcome programs to enchanted knights disguised as pigeons, you've got a city that's constantly inviting you in, asking you to be part of its story. There's this quote from the guide that just perfectly captures this idea. It says, "It is part of the good tone in Krakow to be seen on a Saturday morning in Kleppars." Now, Kleppars is the city's oldest market. So that line isn't about buying groceries, it's about participating. It's about being part of the life of the city. It's about belonging. In the end, Krakow is like a living library. It's got stories written in stone, stories told in myths, and stories you can taste from a streetcar. It's a powerful reminder that a city isn't just a bunch of buildings. It's a collection of stories. So the only question left is, which one will you discover first?